I'm crossing a line by teaching you this, because the knowledge I'm about to hand you has destroyed men who thought they could control it, and it has elevated others to thrones they never deserved. This is not wisdom for the faint-hearted, nor is it meant for those who wish to live quietly, safely, and invisibly. If you are listening now, understand that I am revealing to you a weapon, not advice. And like all weapons, it can protect or it can destroy. As Machiavelli once warned, it is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. That sentence is not just a quote, it is a mirror that shows you how cruel the world truly is. The line I am crossing is this: I will not tell you what will make you good, I will tell you what will make you powerful. Most men die trying to be loved, trying to be accepted, trying to please the crowd. They do not realize that the crowd is fickle, weak, and forgetful. Love is cheap, loyalty is conditional, but fear leaves an imprint carved into the soul. Fear is not about cruelty alone, it is about permanence. The man who is loved today can be hated tomorrow, but the man who is feared cannot be erased so easily. You must understand that in this life, the rules are not written for your success. They are written to restrain you. The system you live in thrives on your obedience, your conformity, your silence. When you dare to step outside those rules, you begin to see that morality is often nothing more than a leash held by those in power. Machiavelli whispered to those who could hear, "Men sooner forget the death of their father than the loss of their inheritance." What does that mean? It means that self-interest governs men more than love, loyalty, or even blood. If you want to move others, appeal not to their hearts, but to their hunger. I tell you this with caution, because knowledge like this separates you from the herd. Once you see the truth, you cannot return to ignorance. Most people believe the stories they are fed, that honesty will always be rewarded, that kindness will always return to you, that patience will bring prosperity. These are beautiful lies, designed to keep the weak satisfied. But the ruler, the strategist, the one who seeks to rise, cannot be seduced by illusions. He must see the world as it is, not as he wishes it to be. And the world, my friend, is a battlefield dressed as a marketplace, a jungle hidden beneath polite handshakes and smiling faces. Ask yourself, why do you obey? Why do you follow rules that benefit others but not yourself? It is because you fear punishment. And why do others obey you? Rarely out of love, but almost always out of fear of what you can do to them if they defy you. That is the hidden engine of society. The promise given was a necessity of the past. The word broken is a necessity of the present. That Machiavellian truth tells you that commitments are tools, not chains. You use them when they serve you, and you discard them when they no longer do. Now I am crossing the line further. I will tell you what most will never dare to admit. Morality is a costume, and behind every costume stands naked ambition. Every empire, every kingdom, every company, every family even, is driven not by virtue but by survival and power. The man who pretends to be righteous without strength is devoured. The man who pretends to be ruthless without intelligence is exposed. But the man who understands both the mask and the blade cannot be destroyed easily. Do not mistake my words for cynicism. This is not despair. This is clarity. Because once you strip the illusions away, you gain freedom. You see men not as angels but as players. You see politics not as service but as strategy. You see relationships not as eternal, but as transactions of need and desire. And in that vision, you gain control. You cannot be betrayed if you never trusted blindly. You cannot be manipulated if you already know what motivates men. This is why Machiavelli advised, "The wise man does at once what the fool does finally." The wise man sees through the disguise immediately. The fool discovers too late. I must warn you, though, this knowledge will make you dangerous, but it will also make you lonely. The crowd does not forgive those who see too much. If you dare to wield power openly, you will be hated. If you dare to move silently, you will be feared. Either way, you will not belong among the masses anymore, but you will no longer live on your knees. And perhaps that is worth the isolation. The one who dares to control fear, both his own and that of others, becomes untouchable. Understand this. Men are simple. They want comfort, security, validation. Give them these illusions, and they will serve you. Threaten these illusions, and they will submit to you. This is the iron law of human behavior. If you rely only on their love, you will be disappointed. If you rely only on their morality, you will be betrayed. But if you rely on their fear of loss, loss of status, loss of wealth, loss of your approval, you will never be without influence. This is where I cross the line completely. You must learn to wear masks. Never reveal your true intentions. Hide your claws beneath a velvet glove. Smile when you plot, flatter when you scheme, agree when you plan to strike. Appear harmless until you are ready to be feared. Machiavelli said, "A prince never lacks legitimate reasons to break his promise." Do you understand? Promises are not prisons. They are weapons, sharpened by timing and circumstance. Let me give you this final truth. You may believe that to live like this is cruel, but the greater cruelty is to live blind, to be devoured because you clung to illusions of fairness in a world that laughs at fairness. Those who rise above understand that survival requires strategy, and strategy requires ruthlessness. To control men, you must know them better than they know themselves. To defend yourself, you must be willing to act before others imagine you would. To remain in power, you must understand that sometimes fear is the only bond that lasts. I am crossing the line by giving you this warning, because once you grasp it, you cannot unlearn it. This is the choice. Live as the sheep, or see through the eyes of the wolf. Trust the illusions, or master the reality. Seek to be loved, and risk being forgotten. Learn to be feared, and you will be remembered. Power does not ask for permission. It does not beg to be accepted. Power moves silently, strikes decisively, and survives endlessly. And if you dare to hold it, you will see that Machiavelli was right all along. Men are driven by two principal impulses, either by love or by fear. But those who survive, those who rule, those who bend the world always choose fear. But hear me carefully. There is a cost for seeing truth. When you decide to embrace power as it truly is, you must strip yourself of illusions. You cannot afford to be sentimental when survival is at stake. Machiavelli declared, "The promise given was a necessity of the past. The word broken is a necessity of the present." This is not hypocrisy. It is adaptation. Life is not a straight road of honor. It is a battlefield full of shifting alliances, betrayals, and traps. The man who insists on being honest in all things is devoured by those who do not share his honesty. The man who insists on being kind in all situations is destroyed by the ruthless. But the man who understands when to appear kind, when to appear honest, and when to wield cruelty without hesitation, he is the one who survives. Do not misunderstand me. Cruelty for cruelty's sake is foolish. To harm without strategy is weakness disguised as strength. The true wielder of power uses cruelty, like a surgeon uses a blade, swift, precise, and purposeful. Fear is not about chaos, it is about control. Too much cruelty breeds rebellion, but the right amount creates loyalty rooted in survival. That balance is the razor's edge where real leaders walk. Machiavelli said, "It is much safer to be feared than loved, but one ought to avoid being hated." That is the mastery: fear without hatred, authority without rebellion. It is not an easy line to walk, but those who master it live untouchable. Now let me tell you something most men never learn. The strongest fortress is not built of stone, it is built of perception. You can have walls, guards, weapons, but if men believe you are weak, you are already defeated. Conversely, even without defenses, if men believe you are dangerous, they hesitate to strike. Power is not only possession, it is projection. The wise ruler, the cunning man, does not waste effort trying to prove his goodness. He spends his energy shaping his reputation. Reputation is armor. Reputation is weapon. Reputation is currency. And the greatest mistake you can make is to leave it unshaped, to allow others to define you. You must seize it, mold it, direct it. The wolf who appears as a sheep is safer than the sheep who tries to appear as a wolf. Let us take this further. What is loyalty? It is not what you think. It is not eternal devotion, not undying faith. Loyalty is a contract, written in invisible ink, signed only as long as needs are met. Men are loyal when it benefits them, when fear restrains them, when gain motivates them. The moment it no longer serves them, loyalty evaporates. This is why so many rulers have fallen, believing that love and loyalty would protect them. But the truth is, as Machiavelli wrote, men are ungrateful, fickle, false, cowardly, covetous, and as long as you succeed, they are yours entirely. That is the harsh reality. And if you expect more, you will be broken by disappointment. This is the secret no one dares to say out loud. Manipulation is not an evil act. It is the essence of leadership. Every politician, every general, every king, every businessman manipulates. They shape words, images, laws, and appearances to control how people think and act. And those who refuse to manipulate are not noble, they are irrelevant. Because the world is not ruled by truth, it is ruled by perception. If you wish to lead, you must accept that truth will not save you. Appearances will. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. That single sentence is the foundation of power. Do not waste your energy trying to prove your soul to the masses. They do not care. They only care what you appear to be, and that is the field on which you must fight. But let me warn you, once you embrace this path, you cannot return to the innocence of blind faith. You will begin to see masks everywhere. You will see smiles that hide knives, promises that hide betrayals, friendships that hide ambition, and you will never be able to unsee it. This is both your weapon and your curse. To see reality is to lose comfort, but it is also to gain control. Most people are comforted by lies. You will not have that luxury anymore. You will live among illusions, but you will not believe them. You will manipulate illusions, but you will not be trapped by them. That is the cost of knowledge. Now consider your enemies. Do not ever underestimate them, but do not overestimate them either. Most enemies destroy themselves if you are patient enough. Push them too hard, and you create martyrs. Wait long enough, and you find them exposed by their own weaknesses. The wise man does not need to fight every battle. He chooses carefully. Machiavelli advised, "The wise man does at once what the fool does finally. Strike early, strike decisively, and strike when the enemy least expects it. Delay too long, and hesitation becomes your executioner." And here is a lesson I crossed the line to give you. Your greatest enemy is not another man. It is your own hesitation, your own fear, your own morality that tells you to wait, to doubt, to hold back. The man who hesitates is already defeated, because power respects only decisiveness. Do not confuse this with recklessness. True decisiveness is calculation turned into action. Do not wait for permission. Do not wait for fairness. Move when the opening appears, even if others call you cruel, ambitious, or ruthless. They will hate you, yes, but they will also respect you. And respect built on fear lasts longer than love built on weakness. Look at the world around you. Every empire rises not by kindness but by strategy. Every leader maintains power not by fairness but by control. Every revolution succeeds not by morality but by manipulation of perception. And every individual who dares to rise in this life must understand this law. Power does not ask, it takes. And once it is taken, it must be defended ruthlessly. The end justifies the means. That phrase is often misunderstood. It does not mean that anything is permitted. It means that the value of actions is judged by results, not intentions. If your actions preserve power, they were justified. If your kindness destroys you, it was foolishness disguised as virtue. So, what is the final warning I give you by crossing this line? It is this: do not expect justice, create it. Do not expect loyalty, enforce it. Do not expect love, command respect. And do not expect safety, build it with fear. For the world is not merciful, and the man who expects mercy will not survive. But the man who understands fear, who shapes perception, who bends men's desires to his will, that man will not only survive, he will rule. And now, you must ask yourself, will you live as the sheep, comforted by illusions, or will you dare to see through the eyes of the wolf? Will you chase the approval of the masses, or will you embrace the solitude of the powerful? For once you cross this line with me, there is no return. The choice is yours.